This is one of the scalping strategies that I use to get funded when it comes to trading the NQ futures. Now, I'm going to go into every single detail when it comes to the scalping strategy and share all of that with you later in this video, so make sure you watch to the end. All right, so let me first explain the ideas behind this strategy. So first and foremost, I'm generally targeting 3 to 5R. It varies and it depends on the current day and what I'm looking for. Now, the reason I like to target these higher risk to reward ratios is simply because it allows me to have more mess ups in my trading. I really believe targeting these higher risk to reward ratios has helped me tremendously. And what that allows me to do is have more of these mess ups along the way. For example, I can have 3 attempts in a day, and if I'm targeting 4R, then if I win on that last trade, I can come out in a little bit of profit here. So with that said, let me go ahead now and walk you over to the charts, and I'm going to go through some examples and share this scalping strategy with you. The very first thing I'm going to do for the strategy is load up the 5-minute charts on the NQ. Now, what I'm looking at is price action after the 9:30 New York market open, and I'm looking for liquidity sweeps here. So, but not just any liquidity sweeps. These are specific areas that I'm going to share with you how I pick them out. So let's take a look at the current market day. And I'm not sure if you can see it, but I actually have some alerts already marked off where I might decide to take a position here. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look here. These are trades that I did take today. So let me just back up here. I'm going to do a quick bar replay so you can see right back at the 9:30 open here. So what I'm looking here for are obvious lows on the 5-minute chart, and they stand out like a sore thumb. So I'll just go ahead and mark these off. There's one here, all right, and there is a gap right here. I'll mark that up, and there are a couple more down here that I've circled. You can see these lows here, all right, and then there's a few more off to the left here, and I'll just mark these up. Now, I don't necessarily mark off every single low here. All right, in this example, when there are multiple lows, generally I'm going for the bottom 2 or very near that. But I'm going to share with you how I avoided entering in all these different areas and then ended up getting in on a really good play. So what I'm looking here for is a simple sweep of these liquidity areas and then dropping down to a lower time frame to look for my entry. So as price plays out here, I can see that this happens, all right? This is the first possible attempt where I'm going to zoom in then on the 1 minute to see what happened there. So as I come into the 1 minute here, let's take a look. All right, I'm looking for this liquidity to be taken or a close or a sweep below. So right here it's taken, and I would have gotten into this position and I would have had a loss. I would have entered right here on this blue candle and I would have had a stop down here. Now, a stop size is really dependent upon each trader or one specific money management. So this right here would have been a loss based on my rules. Now, let's move down to the next level. You can see right here in this particular area, this gets blown through, so there was no trades taken, and then I did have a rejection off this level, so I enter right here. And this trade ends up also being a quick loss. All right, now let's look at the next levels below. You can see price blows right down through these levels down here and then sweeps this absolute low right here, and then I enter right here off of that with a stop right about in this area. Again, stops are subjective to each individual trader, but right here I was targeting a 4R on this and it got it easily. So you can see that is right there, that is one trade taken right here. This was number 2 and this was number 3. Because I won on number 3, I'm now up for the day with a net 2R. Let's take a look at another setup. Coming back out to the 5-minute chart here, here we go. All right, I am going to play this forward just a little bit. And there was a trade right up here that I did take. And I'll mark it off here. I'll move this up. So as the market was moving forward, I had another level set right here at this high, and I'll circle it. I'll just move this circle up so you can see that right there. And we'll just clean some of this up right here. I no longer need these levels because I took that trade already. And there we are. So here it is. We'll get rid of this. and right here. If I zoom in here, you can see exactly what happened on the 1 minute time frame. If I drop down to the 1 minute time frame and go back over here, you can see right here, price does take this liquidity right here, and then I'm looking at this rejection candle for a possible setup right here. All right, again, stops are subjective. I'm usually in the 15-point range, give or take. And this right down here, you can see it ends up getting 5R. All right, now with that particular trade, I was targeting 4R, so that brings me to a net of 6R. Right there, I'm good with that, and then I end up stopping for the day. Now, what are some other potential liquidity areas that I'll be looking at? Let's take this market to the live session right here. You can see we are approaching this right here, and we actually just hit it. So this is a possible trade I'll be looking at. So let me come out to the 5 minute here so you can see that. All right, I'm going to remove all these drawings now just to clean it up. So what I'm looking at is this right here. I'm looking at this level here, and I'm also looking at this level here to see what ends up happening. All right, so here's an actual real example that's happening right now. So in looking at this here, I just had this high that was taken right here. All right, and then if I look at the 1 minute chart, if I drop down to this, you can see right here off this rejection candle. Now, the only thing I don't like about this is this candle was so close right here to the next area. So in this particular example, what I would do is I would personally attempt this trade, and if it failed, I would attempt again at the next level. Now, the reason why I like this is because when I do this, from a risk management standpoint, I'm risking so little, it doesn't even matter if I miss on these particular trades a few times, because I'm targeting that higher risk to reward, and then I'm risking such a small amount, I can afford to take 3 or 4 losses in a row. In this particular example, I'm going back to the previous day so I can show you how it worked yesterday. Again, I'm right here on the charts before the New York Open. I'll mark it off, and it is right here at 9:30. So when I'm looking at this, I'm looking for the obvious highs and lows on the 5 minute chart. So we're on that right now, and let me go ahead and mark them out. So I see an obvious low right here, and then I see another obvious low right here. All right, and then I see an obvious high. It looks like we're making a high right in this area here. So simply put, what I'm looking for are liquidity sweeps within these particular areas here for a possible setup. Now let me play this a bit forward, and then once something comes very near, I'll drop down to the 1 minute so I can take a closer look at this here. I'll play it over a bar. It looks like we got really close to this up here, but it didn't quite sweep. This again is a bit subjective. Sometimes I'll take these, sometimes I won't. But again, that's the beauty of the way I like to trade, is, you know, targeting these higher risk to reward ratios allows me to take that extra risk in possible setups. And if I lose, big deal, because I risk such a tiny amount that I'm ready to take the next trade or next possible setup. All right, so as price is pushing down here, you can see that it's really not coming down to this low yet. And I leave these on here. I'm not going to go ahead and change these throughout the day unless my targets are hit. So as price is pushing down, you can see what's happening here. We're getting closer to the area, and then right here, we're very near it. So let me now drop down to the 1 minute so that you can take a look at this here, and we'll just see what happens in and around this area. So I'm going to play this over a couple candles, and what I want to do is I want to see this get taken and then a rejection right in that area here. So there we are. It does get taken there, and then a bit of a push down right there on that blue candle. That's an area where I may or may not take a setup, and then I'm looking to get 4R out of this particular trade. So I'll just go ahead and play it forward, and we'll see what it gets. Right there, I'm stopped out of this trade in this particular example, so let's see what happens if we come lower to my next setup. All right, so right here, I'll come back out to the 5 minute, and then I'm just going to watch this bottom level here. So let's see what happens. All right, as this plays out, you can see this pushes all the way up here, and then what I'm looking here is I may move this like so, and then look at these bottom two areas. Let's just see what happens. There it is. It comes right down here. It tags off of this. Let's go ahead and drop down to the 1 minute and take a look and see what happened. So here it is. This is our new low right here, easily seen. it breaks right here. I didn't enter in anything until I had a blue candle rejection. So right here, I'm now in this particular setup. And again, I'm looking for 3, 4, 5R. It really just depends. So let's see what happens here if this is pushed up. All right, I am going to play this forward, and you can see the target was hit there. So there are two simple trades. I lost the first one, and then I won the second one, and because I'm targeting a higher risk to reward, then it actually worked out for me. So this is a scalping strategy that I do use. Again, I don't know if it'll work for you, and I don't guarantee that it can work for anybody. Again, past performance is no guarantee of future performance here. And do remember that trading is extremely risky. Most people lose money, and everything I'm sharing with you here on this channel and in this video is simply for educational purposes and entertainment purposes only. So I almost forgot. I wanted to come back and look at the actual trade that is happening while recording this video. So there it is. You saw earlier in the video, I had this level marked off. I was looking for a sweep. Price swept, and I don't know if it's going to get its target yet because it's actually live, but I'll come down to the 1 minute so you can see that. Price sweeps right here, a nice rejection. This did come very close to the next level, as you can see right here. But this is something, again, that I would personally be willing to take a chance on. And then this right down here did achieve so far about 2.3R. Now, again, depending on money management, I could just be all out of this trade because I had a great day already so far. So why take on the added risk? Maybe I'm completely out here. So thanks for watching. Do go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments below, and we will see you soon.